have returned once again to the actual deliver stream of the Promised Neverland. We're good to go, we're good to go, we're good to go. So yes, I actually have to cover episode 4 of The Promised Neverland. As we know, episode 3 actually was really freaking good, I must say. It kind of elevates, again, what the show does perfectly. Like, the direction, the sound design, everything like that. It's absolutely just pinpoint perfect. But also then establishes actually a mighty fury being enemy within, which I actually quite like, because it adds a whole new dynamic to the actual world itself. Actually, then you kind of think to yourself, oh crap, what can in theory happen here? You're always on your toes, basically. You never once kind of thinking to yourself, well, everything's going kind of okay, because there's always something around the corner that actually can in theory impede the heroes actually kind of escape in a way. And it's actually a very interesting use of the enemy within. So yeah, I guess we actually will find out what happens with the enemy within, actually what in theory does in theory entail with the whole entire idea, and possibly then a resolution possibly for the whole entire ordeal. So anyway, it's actually point to actually gone live. So, gone live for The Promised Neverland, episode 4. And with that, I believe we're good to go. On that front, we actually are good to go. Are we good to go on this front? Yes, we certainly are. If the viewer count does kick in at one point, we're actually good to go. But anyways, actually putting this in the full screen, actually showing the road. So in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. But yeah, I mean, it's actually a very interesting use of the enemy within, because again, when you think about it, it's always, when it comes to Prison Break storylines, there's always a sense that there's actually an enemy within the actual narrative itself. But I think here it's very much different because of the ages of the character. Because in a way, it can be seen as the character trying to protect the mother because they believe the mother's actually okay. It's actually quite an interesting dynamic in a way. That's why I actually kind of like the use of it, because it kind of takes what you otherwise is kind of cliches in other narratives, but kind of gives it a newness to life, because of the fact is the characters are at the age that you kind of associate with certain things, in the sense like the whole thing with protecting the mother and everything like that. It's a very interesting use of it. It's a very interesting subversion of the whole entire trope. Well, trope in the sense of the actual genre itself. That's why I kind of highly respect the actual narrative itself, because it's such a nice subversion of the actual kind of Prison Break storyline, because again, there's been so many of them, but this one takes a different kind of approach. It's actually kind of cool. I mean, the mother actually is terrifying, to be honest. They actually brought her to life so perfectly because she just gets beneath your skin like all the time. She completely subverts what a mother should in theory be. It's actually a very interesting use of the whole entire character in a way. Also, one other actual thing I picked up on, I'm not too sure actually is it's just me. It might be me just hearing it. Actually, not might not be it, but it sounded like the pendulum was actually moving in the room with Mother, which again kind of highlights the fact that time is actually a very omnipresent kind of device in the world itself. The OST is actually very good as well, to be honest. It kind of heightens the mood as well. It's actually honestly a really freaking cool shot, to be honest, as well. The use of the first-person perspective, because again, it limits your view. It limits what you can actually see as well. Because beforehand, if you use an over-the-shoulder shot, you actually probably can see a little bit more. But with this shot, you're limited to what actually the character can see. So it makes the initial shock if something happens kind of a lot better. As well, it's actually quite an inventive use of the shot. That's actually really freaking smart. That's actually very smart. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. That was ingenious. That was ingenious, actually. That was actually really well done. Oh no. I must say, that was actually really well done. Like, the whole entire scene was just so well done. I mean, that is quite a cliffhanger, actually, to be honest. Have an enemy within, like, at the same time. That's actually quite an interesting cliffhanger, because, again, you just don't know who it could in theory be, who the antagonist slash enemy within actually is. But I must say, that whole entire scene where you had Gilda go over, you thought to yourself, oh crap, it's Gilda. And it's just the way they actually kind of framed that whole entire shot was brilliant, because it limits the viewer to only seeing Gilda. So you think to yourself, oh, it's Gilda who's doing it. She's the actual enemy within. When in theory, no, she's not. I actually thought it's actually very well done, because it gives you that false idea, and actually then makes you wonder who it can in theory be. You think it's Don, but then at the end it kind of then puts the whole entire spin on the fact that it could in theory be Ray. But then why would Ray do it? That's the problem. It's the kind of the whole logic there. So you kind of then still wonder who it could in theory be. It could in theory be someone else completely. That's the other thing. Or there might in theory not be an enemy within. Well, technically there is, because there's the note. But in theory, the mother can be imperceptive enough that she kind of realise these things. That's the thing. But there's also an enemy within technically, because the note was passed through the doors. So there's that. But I mean, yeah, it was a really good episode overall, I must say. Sound design was fantastic once again. It's just they're doing a lot of things in this show that's actually really well done. Like, I like the use of the soundtrack as well. The soundtrack's actually quite well done, because it kind of heightens the sense of the mood that you're kind of like, oh crap, something's actually going to happen. And also the use of the first person perspective shot as well actually was very well done, because certainly sometimes first person perspectives can in theory just not be that good. It kind of can in theory feel like it's just a bit tacky. Like in essence, in cinema, there's certainly sometimes when it can in theory it can be utilised actually to its extent that actually can in theory be a very, very good use of it. But sometimes it can in theory feel tacky. But here, I like it because it kind of feels as if it's actually kind of like it's actually has a meaning. The idea of actually building the tension between the actual scenes themselves, actually use those kind of camera shots, is actually really well done. You kind of like, oh crap, what's going to happen? You just never know. That's the thing. This show's very unpredictable in that context. So the shots themselves do in theory aid that whole entire unease in the actual viewer. It's actually very well done for it. And yeah, I mean, it was used twice, and the twice it was used in this episode actually was to the extent the actual way I would actually associate a first person perspective shot to actually be used correctly. The idea of just having the scene play out slowly, as if you're watching the characters move along. Your perspective is actually kind of very limited, because you just don't know what's actually around the corner, because you actually are watching the scene through the eyes of the actual kind of main character. It's actually a very nice use of it, because then, say if someone's actually up the top of the stairs, you don't see them until the character sees them. Then actually, it's a very nice use of it. So I actually kind of liked it in this episode. But yeah, I mean, I like the use of the enemy within. As I said during the opening, I like it because the idea of the enemy within does in theory hold a lot more merit than what you actually associate normally with an enemy within. Because an enemy within normally acts as the kind of, as the name suggests, enemy within the actual group, which you then in theory can actually take out the group itself or do more things than that. But here, it takes a different context, because in theory, as I said beforehand, the age of the actual characters in the actual show can in theory change and spin the whole entire perspective, because you kind of think to yourself, okay, the enemy within is normally doing it for a personal gain, but here it can in theory be switched around to the fact that it can in theory mean that the character wants to keep the actual life going that they actually have, because possibly maybe if say they escape, what life is out there for them. They're in this place which actually is in theory not the greatest place in the universe, but it's somewhere to actually stay. I mean, they might in theory die, but it's somewhere, if you get what I mean. Who knows what's actually out there? If demons are out there, they could be anywhere. So it's one of those things, you can in theory interpret the enemy within to actually kind of be a person trying to protect the actual place. Also in theory, it can in theory mean that they actually are being manipulated by the actual mother, because Crone kind of did in theory Sister Crone actually kind of gave me that whole entire perspective as well, because she was like, I want Gilda on my side, which makes you then wonder what's that all mean. Does she actually want her on her side? Actually, then in theory win to be the mother? Who knows? But again, it's just those things that kind of it changes perception slightly, because of the fact is that where they are kind of gives more context to their actions, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I actually really do like the use of the enemy within the show, because hello, because beforehand I've always kind of been like, yeah, enemy within can in theory be a good use of a good use, but it always kind of feels like it's either it works or it doesn't work. It just feels like it's either good or bad. But here it's actually used to the point that it does in theory feel genuine. So yeah, really good job on that part. I think it was just really well done. I actually quite liked it. But I mean, yeah, it's now. Please start coming past, I believe. So when a seventh sentence actually gets drowned out by a police car. Come on, police car. I believe in you. There we go. So yeah, I mean, back on track. I like the fact that we still don't know the enemy within as well. It can in theory be anyone. I actually kind of like that as well, because it makes the whole entire thing even more unpredictable. Because you're always kind of like, okay, so who's it gonna be? You just don't know. And then the actual reveal at the end, possibly when we actually do find out, actually makes the whole entire thing more shocking, because you can't predict who it could in theory be, because who would actually protect the mother? And also then, as I said during the stream itself, the mother is terrifying. Like every single episode, it just. Your blood keeps on getting more bored and bored as time goes on. Like, you're just kind of like, oh god. She gets underneath your skin because she possesses the actual attributes of a mother. She acts like a normal mother does. Her voice is very kind of soft, like a mother is. But it's her words that kind of just go beneath your skin. Like, the tone of her voice is the same, but the words just kind of pierce through. And it's actually really well done. Like, it's a very well done, like, kind of role, because you're just like, yeah, I'm terrified. I just don't want to know. I don't want to see her, okay? She just terrifies me. And her eyes they look into your soul as well. She has that kind of piercing gaze that actually a antagonist actually in theory have, that piercing gaze. She has it to the extent that you just kind of like, Christ, oh god. And yeah, I mean, now it's what's going to happen next. Actually, I like where the show's going. It's always constantly questioning everything around them, and also at the same time, you always have the idea that you just don't know what could in theory happen next. Who it could in theory be? It could be anyone. It could be no one. Who knows? Well, it's someone, but who knows? So yeah. That is me up for today. So actually, as always, if you have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on Twitch, then do leave a follow on Twitch, because indeed that's something quite a bit. If you haven't enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed that's something quite a bit. If you haven't enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to stay a bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed that's something quite a bit. And as well, if you have enjoyed it here on YouTube and you want to stay a bit longer after that whole entire point, then do it in theory. Follow me on Twitter, because indeed there's something quite a bit. On Twitch action on Twitter action and streams go live, and the other streams I do as well. And also after the whole entire point, but I actually don't have a Twitter account. I do in theory also have a Discord server. Discord does in theory tell streams go live, and the other streams I do as well. To episode 5 of the Promised Neverland. I've indeed been a driver, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.